Season 5. The end of an era has been officially wrapped up, and that means that it's time to analyze its finale, while I'm also going to be leaving my personal opinions about it. So, let's begin. Let's start by analyzing its name, The Last Day. Now, you may be wondering, the last day of what, Maria? Well, the last day of many things, but most importantly, the last day of the Gabriel Agreste arc started since Season 1. And of course, the last battle of Gabriel Agreste as Monarch. I also personally like to think that how this storyline started in Origins with the beginning of their school year, and now finished with the last day as their school year has officially come to an end. Now, let's start analyzing these crazy 2 episodes that will go down in history. So, we start the episode very chill with the whole introduction of summer break in Paris, which is so ironic that the episode started this way, knowing what's about to go down. This is when we get to see Gabriel and Tsurugi initiate the perfect alliance plan. This plan basically consists in Gabriel akumatizing himself into Night Tormentor, where he's basically going to torment the entire world with nightmares that are going to be haunting them in their everyday life. This scene low-key gave me flashbacks from Risk. The next step of their plan was to put an app in everyone's alliance ring called Perfect Alliance that promised to calm down their levels of anxiety and fears regarding to the nightmare. But what they didn't know is that through the alliance, Gabriel got to akumatize everyone by thinking that Ladybug and Chat Noir kidnapped Adrien and Kagami, which is so funny to me since he's basically the one that locked them up. Here, we see Adrien, who is tormented by his Chat Blanc nightmare once again. He didn't have a choice but to put the ring on, since it was too dangerous to go and fight with that state of mind, so he gave Flag his Miraculous. Now, I know that a lot of you, including myself, felt bad that Adrien wasn't in the battle and confronted Gabriel. But hear me out, it actually makes sense why, and I think that it was a better choice. Adrien was already tormented by the Chat Blanc nightmare. How could he go into the fight with this thought in his mind constantly chasing him and reminding him? So, if he did fight Monarch knowing it was his father, Gabriel would just take advantage of the situation. Not because he's a Senti, but by showing him for who this was for, that it was all for his mother. And we have already seen how that goes. And of course, I know the whole argument of, oh, Adrien should have confronted his father for what he did to him all along, but are you sure about that? In representation, literally the episode before the finale, Adrien fought Gabriel for being an overall bad parental figure. And it's better for Adrien to fight his father for being the abusive parent that he is than just fighting him with the knowledge that he was a villain. It's more important and more powerful for Adrien's character to confront his father for what he has done in his day-to-day life, the abuse and the pain he caused onto Adrien. And it was even more empowering by seeing that he was through his Chat Noir form, since he was more free, and it was a bigger hit on Gabriel that a random hero who is basically exposing for who he really was on a very much personal level. Adrien realizing Gabriel is a terrible person through his actions as a father is better than finding out he was a terrible person through his actions as a villain. So both Adrien and Marinette got to confront Gabriel for the different damage that he caused in both of their lives in a more personal battle. Adrien confronted Gabriel for being the terrible parental figure that he was, and Marinette confronted Gabriel for being her nemesis who basically took her childhood away. Continuing with the episode, Marinette's nightmare consisted in her trying to save Adrien but killing Gabriel along the way, and then Adrien feels betrayed by her, which I think this could foreshadow something. With this thought on her mind, she worried about Adrien and his safety, so she went to talk with Natalie to make sure that he was okay. While we saw other characters like Marinette's parents and Alia had nightmares as well, Marinette realized that there was something off, but first she went to the Agreste mansion to talk with Natalie. Natalie, on the other hand, because of her nightmare, she was determined to stop Gabriel at all costs. So she was basically threatening Gabriel with her crossbow. But then as Gabriel attacks her as Monarch, she faints. And oh my god, this whole entire scene just gave me chills. As Ladybug goes through the house trying to find Natalie, she found out information like Master Fu's tablet that led up on Gabriel potentially being Monarch. This was all until Monarch himself goes into the room carrying Natalie and transforms. While Ladybug is hidden, she witnesses it all. And I know that Felix basically told her that Gabriel was Monarch, but it's not the same that someone in theory tells her that, then seeing it all with your own eyes. This just made me go insane because I have been waiting for this moment for so long that finally seeing it happen without the timeline being erased, it just feels so real. Like guys, this is actually happening. When Gabriel leaves, Ladybug goes on to talk with Natalie. Which here, Natalie reveals Gabriel's plan and revealed that her illness was all because of the broken peacock Miraculous when she was Mayura. As then she gives Ladybug the phone with the Emily recordings. Later on, all of the akumatized villains came into the Agrest mansion as Gabriel figured that Ladybug was in his house thanks to the magical charm he gave her. As Ladybug escaped from the villains, she hid in the kitchen where Plague explained the disappearance of her partner. As then Plague grabbed the ring, Monarch found Ladybug as he pulled her out of the cabinet singing Marinette. And the way he pulled her just increased my levels of anxiety. Like, why did he pull her like that? The ephemeral flashbacks are really hitting right now. And then happened the most iconic moment in history. Marinette transforms into Bug Noir. This fit, oh my god. This is her best look, I fear. And that's how the episode ends, with Monarch aware of Ladybug's identity. I know, cliffhanger much. How Recreation has a lot of things going on, I'm gonna try to point out the most important and memorable moments. We start off this episode by seeing Lila. As she seems to be watching what's going on, she puts up a wig and contacts to drive up to the Agrest mansion with a red box. Later, we finally see Bug Noir and Monarch again. Something that I love about Bug Noir is how much it symbolizes Ladybug's need for Chat Noir to be present at the moment. Through the suit, we can see how even if most of the outfit is combined, her eyes, in the other hand, have the Chat Noir eye effect. So that when Monarch looks at her, he's not only confronting her, but also her partner who couldn't be present. Also throughout the fight, she uses as much as she can the Cataclysm and the baton, which were both the main items that took off the brooch. She is representing here that they both fought for this moment to happen. She is fighting for both of them. You can see how confident she became once she put the ring on. Because if Chat Noir made such a big decision as giving the ring to her, and more in fact, having faith in her, this made this fight more worthy of fighting. This boost of confidence made her not hesitate to take action. She didn't doubt. She was taking Chat Noir's advice that he always reminding her about, that she can do it, and finish what they started together. You can also see how she always had Chat in mind, as she immediately thought about giving the cat Miraculous to its owner right away. I love how throughout the concept of Bug Noir, we can point out that even though he's not physically there, she will always need him. And she let that known to us as the viewers and in this anticipated battle. Also, something else that I noticed about Bug Noir is the amount of control she now has over her Lucky Charms. Now that she can create as many Lucky Charms as she wants, she actually knows how to use them in battle, and she can make the Lucky Charm be what she wants, since she focuses more on how to use the object as she desires instead of focusing what the object is, because her power was never in the object itself, but it has always been in figuring out how to use them, just how Chat Noir told her back in Determination. Moving on, as we see the Resistance deakumatizing Ivan, we finally see the world's special comeback in the series. Since this nightmare thing affects the whole world, we can see the United Heroes and Faye all reunite in Paris. As we also see Luca who's now training to be a guardian, which is so fitting for his role, since him becoming one could help him manage better the information he knows. We also see a glimpse of Bonix as she helps Luca, and we see how they all reunite in Paris to try to deakumatize Parisians. This whole sequence gave me season 2 finale vibes, which I love. Back with Bug Noir and Monarch, Bug Noir cataclysms the floor as they fall into the basement. Which, by the way, this shot is so interesting as it leaves you with a suspense on what's gonna happen next. We again see Lila, who now has access to the aggressed household technology, as she witnesses Bug Noir and Monarch fighting in the basement. Now, next point I want to talk about is Gabriel's redemption, which I have seen that many people are quite confused about this concept. After Bug Noir got in hold of the Miraculouses and also got to take away the Miraculous of the butterfly from Gabriel throughout their fight, we could see how Monarch showed Bug Noir what was his wish and how he was going to accomplish it. After she got on hold of his Miraculous, she mentioned that she could not repair the problem of the cataclysm and that no wish is perfect. Here we got a little moment of sympathy between the two, where Gabriel mentioned that he just couldn't live without Emily. In this moment that they shared, Marinette, being the kind person that she is, gave him a chance to fix all of this in a way that they could both work together. Gabriel obviously ended up betraying her and using the Miraculouses to make the wish. So Gabriel wasn't redeemed at all. He died as a villain. He still made a selfish decision. He didn't accomplish his original wish, which was reviving Emily and sacrificing anyone in exchange, not truly caring who could that be. He didn't exactly defeat Ladybug because she got away with his Miraculous. Actually, if Gabriel actually listened to Marinette, then he would have been redeemed. Throughout the season, everyone has been trying to tell Gabriel to move on and be there for Adrien because that's the only thing he needs. But Gabriel remained stubborn throughout the whole season and didn't accept those chances he got to change. Gabriel constantly used Adrien as an excuse to bring back his mother. But here, Marinette told Gabriel that Adrien moved on and still cherished his mother along the way, as she then showed Emily's recording, which said that Adrien will be fine as long as he had his father and Natalie along the way. He will be surrounded by love. This is when Gabriel's world started to break and face reality. He had to hear it from his own wife, the one who he was doing it all for, to realize that he screwed up. Gabriel failed not only Adrien but Emily herself. He failed everyone. His last memory with his son was him literally saying that his mother would just want him to be happy. And Gabriel didn't allow that because of how crazy he became. His last moment with Natalie was her literally threatening him with a crossbow. So he didn't die happy. He died being aware that he failed everyone. I wouldn't call this at all a redemption, but more of a realization. He realized that he just created this big mess, and because he realized this last minute, he was already dying. It was too late to fix it anyway. And as I said earlier, he just couldn't live without her. That's why his wish was a death wish. Because he recognized the chaos that was created in everyone's life because of his actions. And he was going to die anyway, so he did at least one last thing that could make things a little better. But that doesn't erase his past actions, and he paid the price for it in the end. And I don't think we should feel bad for him because he got what he deserved. So many people are trying to excuse his actions as, oh, he just wanted his wife. No, he didn't just want his wife. At first, yes, but he got obsessed with the power and always used Emily as an excuse for his insanity. So Gabriel didn't end up winning at all. And the statue that appears in the new world is what Gabriel wants to appear like. Everything they proclaimed he did the complete opposite. That is just a mask that I believe will soon be removed, where people will slowly see the real monster that he is. The wish explained. Now let's move on and talk about the wish. Probably the hardest part of the episode to understand. So, here we see Gabriel unifying the Miraculouses. Now when you unify the Miraculouses, it shows a more empowered version of the Kwamis of destruction and creation. Here they have this godlike figure where they take hands and turn themselves in their ultimate form. Gimme. If you remembered, in the flagration, Plak said to Tiki to remember that they are one, which now that makes total sense, since creation and destruction is what holds the universe at balance. This figure, as we already know, can grant a wish, but with a price to pay in return. But once you make that wish, the current way you know the world, it gets erased and then rebuilt to the desire of your wish. But what if that's just an illusion? Well, I'll go more into that in one of my season 6 theory videos. Now, Gabriel wished to be with Emily and to revive Nathalie. Instead, he was the price to pay. But I don't think that's all. The wish has consequences. That's why Gimme doesn't seem to be very fond of humans making a wish. The aftermath of the wish. Later we see the whole process of the world getting rebuilt. Everything seems so bright and happy. Ms. Bustier became mayor, resolving issues related to environment and a moderated school. We all see the students having fun, and we also see Nathalie and Amelie, and everyone praising Gabriel's tattoo. Then we see an adorable Adrien scene where Marinette also gives Adrien the rings. Lila. At the end of the episode, we see Lila/Cerise putting on the Butterfly Miraculous, since throughout the episode she was watching the fight and gained the Butterfly Miraculous when it fell. I really wonder on what did she see? What revelations she witnessed? Now when she put it on, there was a bright light and then she gets scared. And that's how the episode ends. I am so excited to see Lila as the new butterfly holder, and I definitely think that she will be possibly the best villain, better than Gabriel 1,000 times. And if you want to know why, I definitely recommend seeing my Lila analysis video. Now let's go to my final thoughts. The potential for season 6 is there. Miraculous lore is so powerful that even if things are messy, the potential there is to end things in an interesting, well-written way is there. Like, just look at fanfics. But my question is, will the writers take advantage of this and use it properly? There's where I'm scared. Because the Miraculous writers are known for having the reputation of not developing characters and lore properly, especially by having certain favoritism that does not align with the current scenario happening in the show and will do no benefit. For example, how Thomas Astruc treats Cat Noir. I recorded this video about almost a year ago, and a lot of my opinions have changed. What I mentioned earlier about Adrien and his position of the finale, where I tried to make sense why he wasn't present at the moment, relating it to the events happening inside of the show. But I think we're all aware that this decision is highly influenced on tactics outside of the show and heavily influenced by the writers. Because there are 1,000 ways to fit Adrien inside of the finale, and I'm sure because the fans themselves have made it work. But I also think that if Adrien is not physically there, he is the one that gets more affected than anyone else in the show. The decisions they make and the fight itself was all for Adrien. It always had a bigger part with him, and this decision with consequences will affect Adrien's character more than anyone else. And that's why I'm so excited to see season 6 and how they will reveal this to him, especially since he's free. That's why it's extremely important for the writers to develop his character properly and give him the protagonism he needs according to the events happening in the show. Now, I know the finale is not everyone's cup of tea, but for me personally, I enjoyed it. And at first, I was very confused like a lot of you, but the more I analyzed it, the more I looked into it, the more enjoyable it became. I just love the bittersweet feeling that it leaves you on. The feeling that everything is perfect, a little too perfect you may say. And you know that things are about to go down afterwards. Which gets me so excited for season 6. Like the secrets, the angst, the tension, and the overall potential they have with this finale is crazy. I don't just look at this as a finale, but more as an open ending for the new season. I think the major mistake people have in looking at this finale is the thought of this being the end, which is so obvious that it is not. I definitely think and hope that they left it in this way on purpose to mislead the fans and lift suspension in the air. The theories on what exactly was the wish, something that at first seems obvious, but the more you look into it, the more complex it becomes. And I love that. That's one of my favorite reasons of why I actually enjoyed the season 5 finale. Anyways, what do you guys think of the finale? Have a miraculous day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!